If you're making under 20 to 40,000 a month with your trading Discord, you probably fit into one of these two painful categories that keep trading community owners stuck and frustrated and broke with their content. All right, you might be getting a ton of views but zero results. So you're getting like 20,000 views a video, you're getting no leads, no sales. Your content's probably just like farm engagement. You're probably posting super generic stuff. You probably think that posting testimonials and profit screenshots will get you sales, but unfortunately your Discord just stays empty and your bank account isn't moving because you're not actually attracting high quality leads that want to pay you. Or on the other hand, you might be getting low views and absolutely no momentum. You might be getting like 200, 300 views on a video, maybe 1-2 people trickle in on the comments, maybe they DM you. You're grinding daily, you're posting consistently, but it's just kind of not working for you, all right? Both of these situations are absolute dog shit, but the good news is that you clicked this video and there's a proven system that we've used over these last 2 years to generate over 15 million for trading Discords and fix both of these problems. I'm going to show you exactly how in this video, all right? So just recently, this is actually a screenshot from a Trustpilot review we got. You can see it's actually from December 21st in 2025. So this is very, very recent. We took this guy from 0 followers, not only 0 followers, but $0 in revenue to over 13,000 followers as of today and over 15,000 in revenue. It might be 20 now in just 45 days. All right, so I'm going to show you the exact concepts we've used to blow people up exactly like this from 0 followers to over 12,000, right now 13,000, and do 15, 20,000 in literally a month and a half. Like it really, really was that fast. Again, it's only been 45 days and we've done this so many times over the last 2 years. I can honestly say, like, this isn't theory, this isn't guesswork. I'm not saying like, oh, this might work. This works when you implement it correctly, and we've done this time and time again for not only our done for you clients, but also a lot of our done with you clients. If you don't know who I am, my name is Andy Pham. I work alongside my partner Louis Ben. He's also on this channel. We run Business Grower, and for the last 2 years, we've been behind the scenes of some of the biggest names in the trading industry, and I'm talking about some of the real players who are crushing it, doing 10 million a year, millions a year, 100,000s a month, all right? So some of our clients include Dodgy, JackTrades, Colin Jones, AdeelTrades, It's Johnny, Sean Trades, and a lot of other trading Discords. Obviously, I couldn't list them all here. Some of them are so big that we have an NDA, so I can't even mention them by name if I wanted to. But by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what steps you can take to get the same kind of results that our clients do, or work with us one-on-one just to make sure you guarantee. And we do have a guarantee. So if you're just set in that already, just check the description. But I'm gonna show you a video at the end where you can see exactly how much you'll get guaranteed. But even if you don't fit into those 2 categories I mentioned earlier, like 2 slides ago, you should still watch the whole video, because throughout the whole thing, I'm going to drop kind of gems throughout that you don't want to miss if you want to make serious money or just want more views or leads and maybe you don't sell anything. Regardless, stick through the video. So the issue with most trading content is that it's super, super generic, all right? And I'm gonna go into this in a second with unique mechanisms. That's gonna be in a few slides, and you can skip to that if you want by just scrolling through the chapters at the bottom. But most trading content is super, super generic, and it might get views, but you're not gonna get any buyers from it. So this is a screenshot. I'm not calling anyone out specifically. I'm just saying this kind of content, it might get you a few thousand views. This video in particular got 1,000 views, but it got maybe 1 comment. That guy literally just commented fire emojis. It's not attracting the right kind of people who have the problem your product actually solves. All right, so this is just kind of like an engagement farm. It doesn't pre-qualify the leads that you're actually going to get. It's kind of like win screenshots. In this case, it's literally just screenshots of like a Top Step X Express account, some daily P&Ls, maybe some random chart annotations, and sure, some of this stuff can get views. I mean, I've seen this get like 20, 30,000 views sometimes, but it doesn't move viewers. Not only does it not attract the right kind of viewers, it does not move viewers from just scrolling on Instagram to I actually need that solution. It doesn't build the demand, all right? You end up with thousands of views from people who think trading is easy money, probably like young college kids who probably really just need to actually do something with their life, but they don't have any money. They think trading is going to be the easy way out. They're not going to be buyers. They don't have the problem that your product solves, all right? They're just kind of scrollers who will never pull out a credit card and pay you. So I have this at the bottom in red, because this is what you want to avoid. You do not want to do generic content. You don't really want to be posting just random win screenshots, hype musics, clickbait hooks that attract tire kickers and freebie seekers. But instead, what you want to do is actually post demand building content. So this is going to be breakdowns that solve a lot of the problems that the people who have the problem your product solves will have, and make them realize that they need your system to succeed. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Or what you want to do instead is something most of our clients do, and this is what split screen content actually is. So this is why it attracts high intent leads, all right? So split screen content, pretty much what you have, you've probably seen this all the time, is like face cam on top or face cam on bottom, chart on the other part, and this is mainly what our top performing trading creators actually do in, the real world about 80% of the time. And there's a specific reason why. It's going to get a ton more views than talking head, for example, due to the actual visual engagement you can pop on screen because you're explaining stuff on a chart. Not only your face is there so that there's kind of two things to look at. If you guys remember back in the day, so many TikToks used to have like Subway Surfers and then like the real content on top of that. This is kind of the same thing, but it's going to attract the right kind of person. It's not actual brain rot with Subway Surfers. And if your visual hook is actually good and promises a payoff, you attract the kind of people who actually have the problem your product solves, all right? So the format kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You're going to get views from the visual engagement from watching live chart analysis, plus your face is there, so you get to build that brand, and you get qualified leads because you're visually explaining like the educational depth of your system and what you actually teach, and hopefully it's valuable. So the viewers who stick around and watch split screen content, and you get a ton of views with this content. Like I said, Lee just blew up from 0 followers to 13 followers in literally 45 days just posting this content. He's posted around like 50 times, only 50 times by now. He's already hit 13,000 followers. The people who stick around this generally aren't just looking for quick dopamine hits. They aren't just looking for like cars or watches. So they'll actually be people who have issues in trading that they want solved. Maybe they're probably generally beginners, like trading for under a year, but that means they actually have a problem that you can solve, and they're looking for education. So they're the ones who will actually end up paying you money, all right? So some of our creators that use this, and you can go look at their Instagram to take inspiration, people like JackTrades, Colin Jones, Creative Trader, actually the guy who just blew up, maybe like NDAs. So if you go search those guys up on Instagram, you'll find them, and maybe you can take inspiration from them. But let's go into how you can actually get leads with this content style, why it gets views, and then also after that, I'm going to show you exactly how to actually record this content so that you actually know how to do it yourself. And then after that, we'll talk about how that content will make you the most amount of money as possible. All right, so a super, super, super easy way to get a ton of topics for your videos, as well as make sure your videos actually collects leads, is to create lead magnets first, all right? You can read this page, but what I'm going to explain to you real quick is what you should probably do first, and this should be step by step, is figure out who you want to serve. So for example, a lot of our clients are ICT trader guys. Not all of them are. We've blown people up in like every niche in trading, sub-niche. But in ICT specifically, a lot of these guys may have just watched like the ICT 2022 mentorship, and they watch like T-Trades, and they watch some of these other more generic guys that kind of teach like everything. And they'll target those guys and kind of teach them their strategy, their model that made them profitable to make them profitable as well, all right? And what you can do when you figure out who you're targeting is create a lead magnet that actually solves some of the problems, some of the micro problems that they have being that audience. So for example, Dodgy has his IFG A+ setup checklist. So this is pretty much how to know if an IFG setup is like A+. This is what you're looking for. We have other examples. We've done this so many times. That's one we specifically ran with Dodgy, but something like a model setup rating guide. So you could do the same thing, IFG model setup rating guide. And what that would be is like a PDF showing like, oh, this is an A+ setup. This would be an A setup. This is like a B setup, B-, stuff like that. And even stuff like model flowcharts, daily bias flowcharts, and even just a breakdown of the model. But what you can do and how you get topics from this kind of lead magnet is you figure out what kind of bronchial problems did this just solve. So people might know your strategy, people might not. You can teach your strategy. If you go take inspiration from a lot of our creators, you'll see like they do videos all the time like, oh, this is the one setup. If I had to trade one strategy for the rest of my life, this would be it. You could make videos like that in CTA to these. That would be like a good breakdown CTA. You can teach stuff specifically about like, so what you want to do is you want to build your content around the micro problems that your lead magnet actually solves. So for example, the A+ setup checklist, it might teach like, oh, you need this daily bias or you need this confluence. You can, in your video, you can go break down those confluences. Make sure you promise to pay off at the beginning, and we'll explain that in a bit. But you can kind of narrow down the video onto one specific part of what the lead magnet solves. That way, it actually builds demand for your offer, which in the video is going to be the lead magnet. All right. So maybe like if daily bias is a huge part of the setup checklist, then what you can do is you can make your video about daily bias, make the hook. You never want to be like, daily bias part 1, but your hook could be something like, this is how I use daily bias with my IFG model to make 20,000 a month, something like that. I can show you some hook examples later, and we have a full course on hook creation. We have courses on that for our done for you and our done with you clients. So if you're interested in that, check the description. But this can be how you get topics, and what you can do is you can just make, really day one, you probably just need one lead magnet. This is one of the first things we do with our clients. Have them create a lead magnet, and then based on that lead magnet, create a ton of content around those micro problems that the lead magnet solves. That way you have a ton of topics and you're hitting the same CTA from so many different sales angles that you're getting as much volume and as many leads as possible through your system, all right? As well as what you want to do, as long as you're actually trying to get leads and not just useless broke views, is you actually want to show the system and not just random tips, all right? So the wrong way would be like, if you don't want to make money, then you could just give isolated tricks, like just make videos like, oh, here's a cool RSI trick. Here's how to use the RSI indicator. Here's how to use the MACD. None of that builds authority because it makes viewers think you're just another tips account. If you want to be teaching something and you want to make sales, not only get a ton of views, but also make sales, you want to have a wide audience, which you can do because the trading is a huge space. Like we've made super, super niche videos that's gotten over 100,000 views for our clients, with our clients. So it's not a TAM issue, but if you want to actually make sales off of it, you want to teach something that almost no one else in the world can teach, or maybe that you're the best at. Either you have to be the best at it, or it has to be something unique that most of these guys have like never heard of before. All right. So what you can do is you can teach in a way that reveals that there's a complete structured framework behind what you're showing. So each video that you post on your socials, it can break down like maybe one step of your system, and you can mention that other steps exist, and that builds demand for whatever resource, whatever lead magnet that you're going to CTA to, all right? So just make sure you're actually speaking about your unique mechanism, which we're going to explain in a bit. What a unique mechanism is going to be like a model. So just something unique that you teach. For Dodgy, it's his IFGs. For Colin Jones, it's his 3-step model. For JackTrades, it's his 4AM PO3. For Adeel, it's going to be his market structure model. Lee Jacobs, the creative trader, it has his confirmation model. All right. So I'm going to show you how to come up with that in a bit. If you want to skip to that, you can skip through. You can slide through the chapters. It's the next chapter. But I'm going to be showing you for the rest of this section how to make your videos and the topics, the concepts behind it to make sure you can get as many views as possible, as well as getting as many leads, high quality leads from it as possible, so you make the most amount of money, all right? And to that point, what you want to do inside of your reels is you need to make sure you're actually building demand for the CTA. So while you're teaching, something you can do is like reference parts of the lead magnet. So you can say like rule 3 from our IFG setup rating guide or checklist, or page 5 of the setup rating guide, we have this B- setup, and then maybe you can use it inside of the content. Like you can make a video identifying this, showing this is the exact setup that makes me 20K, a month or something, and then inside of that reel you can reference to the setup rating guide and show that, okay, so this seems like this is an A+ setup, so this is going to be X. I'm going to take this on my live account, and then you play at it out, and that's like an educational reel. All right, so part of this is like showing small visuals or the PDF. You don't have to, but what this can do, you build demand either through the educational topics you're doing or literally showing it. That one's a bit more on the nose, but you build demand either way. All right. But what this does is it signals to viewers that there's an actual system behind this video, and this video isn't just like a throwaway, all right? So if you're teaching maybe one part of your system, and then you can subtly reference the other ones or show the full setup, or you can literally just say like, obviously this isn't part of the full setup, but this strategy is the one that makes me 30,000 a month. So if you want a full breakdown on it, I've made a PDF breaking it down completely. Just comment the word guide and I'll send it over for free, something like that. So you can reference your framework, you can show visual proof for it, you can flash like the PDF. I wouldn't like just show the whole damn thing because people will just hold down their thumb, screenshot it, and then you never get their details, they never come into your funnel, they never actually end up converting, all right? but you do want to make it easy. So what you can do is you can end with the CTA, just like, if you want if you want X, I made a free PDF explaining X, just comment X and I'll DM it over for free. And yes, this is not manipulation, it's just showing that you actually have invested time in creating real resources that they can use on the back end. And in this video, I'm actually going to be showing you exactly what to make it about and how to make it super, super clean, and like what to make. Like, it shouldn't be like a massive 30-hour course. Really, it should be one page, but we'll speak about that in another chapter. All right. Another bit on actually making sure that your content gets leads is you have to make sure every single video probably ends with a CTA. All right, so go grab X. So the reel that you post should fix part of the problem that your person has, that your audience has. So a lead magnet could be a full structured fix for it. Whatever, it depends on your lead magnet, right? But whatever problem your lead magnet solves, your reel should fix part of it so that you can prove that you have value that builds demand for the actual lead magnet or whatever offer you have at the end. And this is how you're going to turn like these small topics into demand for your resources, and then you can turn that demand into sales down the line by building more trust and authority with these leads. So the flow would be, if in your content, is like identifying a specific problem your audience has. You're going to explain the fix in the reel, or maybe you're gonna break down the entire model. This is what a lot of our guys do. But obviously you can't explain the entire model like super, super in detail, and people won't remember it after like a minute. So you can build demand that way to your CTA, to the lead magnet. All right, so you can get like, if you want the full PDF breakdown, I made a one-page PDF that you can just keep on your second monitor. If you want that completely for free, just come with the word guide and I'll just DM it over. And you never want your CTA to be generic, all right? You never want it to be like, follow me for more, because honestly, not only do people not listen, but also it's not going to, like, if you get people inside your Discord, you collect their email, they're using your lead magnet, they're going to be following you, they're going to be seeing you across all the social medias. If you say follow me for more, it's not really getting them anywhere, all right? But you want to make sure your CTA is specific and tied to their exact problem that you built demand for inside of the reel. So if you just explain your full strategy in the reel and you're like, okay, people are like, okay, how am I going to remember this? Or like, how am I going to go back test it? Then you can CTA to like a breakdown or a setup rating guide where they can go take that, put it on their second monitor, go back test it, or even like just try using it themselves. And in the process, they'll join your email list, they'll join your Discord, they'll start getting YouTube videos from you recommended to them either through the email, through the Discord, or even just through organic. And that's how you start the first part of building trust and authority with that prospect. And now let me drill something into your head. Multiple videos just builds more demand over time, all right? Your videos do not have to be different topics every single time. And yes, you can be repetitive. At the end of the day, the audience you're targeting is still going to have the same problem that you're helping them fix, and that audience will be oscillating, growing. People will leave, people will join every single day, but you have the same solution that solves their problem. So all you have to do is attack it from different angles in the content. If you're posting repetitive content that is still useful, people aren't thinking like, oh, why does this guy keep teaching X? Like, oh, he posts the same video every day. Instead, it actually creates a perception that you're the authority on solving that specific issue. And if they're not profitable, they still need to watch your content and they still need help from you. So you can post 100 videos on something even like prop firm consistency, or post 100 videos showing the exact same strategy in the exact same way, just with different angles. So you can explain different parts of your strategy in more detail, or in this prop firm consistency example, it could be like why most traders fail prop challenges, the one rule that keeps you in drawdown with your funded challenges, how to pass funded accounts without changing your strategy. So maybe that would be about risk management, stuff like that, right? So you can just, and obviously those are shit hooks, but I'm just saying those are the topics. You can drill the same problem just with different angles. And you can go into different subsets of that problem, the little micro problems inside of that core problem, and you can build demand for your lead magnet that way, right? Your lead magnet probably should be solving that core problem that they have. And when you do this, this creates a perception like clearly this guy has the system for this. This guy like is the person who solves this problem. If someone sees that you've made 10 videos about prop firm consistency, they don't think like, oh, this person posts too much about prop firm consistency. At least not if they have the problem that your videos actually solve. They think that, okay, this person has mastered this topic. I'm going to listen to this person when it comes to prop firm consistency. And I'm going to explain this in a second, but this is why you want to have a unique mechanism. And this is why you want to tie it into pretty much your whole funnel, including all your content, all your emails, all your community stuff, your everything. Because the reason why is you become the absolute master, the absolute authority on that unique mechanism, on that topic. So whenever you make videos and you pull people into learning this and they get like kind of sunk costs where they start learning your strategy and they're like, okay, well, I don't want to switch off this. This is a strategy that works super, super well, which is what we did with Dodgy when we helped him blow up IFGs. You build a massive audience around the strategy that you are now the master of. And this is what we kind of call like a cult-like audience. And that's what I'm going to show you how to build through your content in this video. All right. So like I just said, the full funnel, you want to tie your unique mechanism into it, but what actually is it? So for trading discords, the full funnel is pretty much going to be you post content, you're going to get attention, you're going to turn that attention, and you're going to build demand with that audience, enough demand for them to claim your lead magnet. The point of the lead magnet is to collect email, to collect email, name, phone number sometimes if you have a setter, get them inside of the Discord, get them into the Discord community. And once they have this and they're using your lead magnet every day, they're getting emails from you, they're watching your YouTube, they're in your Discord, they're seeing the profits you post, trade recaps you post, people giving testimonials on you. You're building a ton of trust and a ton of authority, and this person is more likely not only to be hooked on your unique mechanism and go learn more about that, watch more YouTube videos from you on that specific unique mechanism, but now they're more likely to pay you because your paid product is going to basically be implementation of that unique mechanism at the highest level, all right? But here's why this works, and here's why your content needs to be educational and you can't just kind of do that generic content. So what you want is pretty much buyers that are pre-sold from your content, all right? And when your content topics are built around the exact pain that your community solves or your product solves, viewers pretty much self-qualify. The only people that will watch that content have the pain that your product solves. So when you build enough trust and authority through YouTube videos, through the reels, through them joining your Discord, from them seeing like, wow, this lead magnet is insane, they're already sold on your specific method, your specific solution, which is your unique mechanism, before they ever hit checkout, or if you have a high ticket, book a call. So this is how you're going to get higher conversion rates. This is how you're going to lower churn, and you're going to get higher lifetime value, and people are going to end up paying you more over time, especially if you have a product suite. And this is something we do with our done for you clients. But they're going to not only join the low ticket, they might buy the high ticket, they might buy the mid ticket, they might buy your indicator, stuff like that, because they're so sold on your method that they need ways to implement it better. And you are the only person that does that in the world, all right? But instead of just posting like random viral content that just gets views from everyone, but it converts almost no one, and you're just attracting scrollers, what you want to do is all your content should be demand building, and it should be about topics that will attract the kind of viewers that have the problem that your product solves. So you're going to get views from already qualified leads, because these guys have the pain, which is a huge part of actual qualification. They might not have the money, but that's where the rest of the funnel comes in. And it usually converts, these leads usually convert at 10 to 15%. And this is because the content that you're posting actually attracts people who already know they need your solution, so your content pre-sells. This is why this content performs so much better than like some of the talking head stuff, or just content like random viral generic content, all right? All right, so I'm going to show you what the split screen content actually looks like and how to do it. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you this in a separate video. So in a second after this slide, you're going to get a card in the top right that'll show you a video showing you exactly the setup we have on our OBS. So you'll see it in a second. But really what you want to have is you want to have a screen capture. So maybe like trading view chart or deep charts, or even like a whiteboard. It depends on what you want to do it on. Most people use trading view. But you want live drawing and annotation showing your analysis in real time. You want to have your face cam on this. This is super important, because a combination of seeing your face, like not only are you building trust and connection when people see your face, but you're also building your personal brand, which is super, super important for your trading community, especially while they're watching you explain something on the charts, like just demonstrating expertise, is incredibly powerful for conversions. And some viewers feel like they're getting one-on-one coaching, which is super, super good, obviously, for trust and authority, and kind of building like a little bit of a parasocial relationship, all right? Obviously, it's going to be vertical because it's Reels. But what you're going to use for this is called OBS. So OBS is a free screen recording software. You probably heard of it before if you're watching this. It layers your screen capture with your webcam perfectly. So in this video, it's going to be the card right here in the top right. I'm going to show you exactly how we set that up for clients, the exact settings we use so that you can actually do it yourself. And it works on Mac, Windows. Every single one of our clients uses this exact setup, all right? So it's completely free. So I'm just going to show you how to set it up. Just click that card in the top right. All right, so this is probably the most important part to actually making sure that your content gets the right audience and gets leads and makes you money. This is actually the first thing we do for clients when they get onboarded, and it's what separates 5K a month communities from like 100K per month brands once you actually start getting views, because without this, you're kind of just like another face on the internet, all right? So here's a question I have to ask you, and I'm gonna explain to you this at the end. If you wanna read on the page and skip ahead, that's fine. But if Gordon Ramsay right now, he opened an in-person cooking class, or if ICT opened an in-person trading seminar in like New York City tomorrow, you think, and I mean, let's be real, it's going to instantly sell it. The question is why? And the reason why is because they have such a huge brand and they have proof that they're very, very good at that specific thing. Your challenge, when you post content, you don't have Gordon Ramsay's fame. You're not, you can't, like, people don't know that you're that good at whatever it is you do. You don't have ICT's decade of recognition and millions of people talking about him on YouTube, whatever it is. So how can you emulate that success and authority without being famous to millions of people? And what it is you build a unique mechanism, all right? This is what works so well for many of our clients, and people become pretty much cult-like followers of like the IFEG strategy or the power of three strategy or the three-step model, and you build entire communities around it. So what is actually a unique mechanism? So in most cases, a unique mechanism is your trading model or strategy with a specific memorable name, and you want to be the authority on this, all right? So when you make content about this, it makes you the authority on that one specific thing, that one specific strategy, that one specific model, and you're not just a generic trading educator just lost in the noise. All right, so Dodgy has his IFEGs, his inverted fair value gap system. Jack has his power of three setup. Colin Jones has his three-step model. Creative Trader has its confirmation model, all right? Some of the biggest brands in the world, people like JackTrades. He has something, I know. Who has a set and forget? I completely forgot that has a set and forget. If you know him, leave him in the comments. But this is what I mean. Most of the guys who are huge in this space have something they brand themselves around, and you need to do the same thing. This is the first thing we do with our clients. That helps them blow up super, super quick because it gives people a reason to follow you, a reason to go claim your lead magnet, a reason to join your community because they're looking to learn something from you that no one else on the market teaches but you. And what you want to do in your video is you want to hook them with your actual unique mechanism, all right? So tie your mechanism to the dream result in your video. This is going to create curiosity and position you as an authority, not only to make sure that they get into the unique mechanism, but you want to tie their dream result to actually using the unique mechanism. So some hook examples that work for some of our clients, I've said this a few times in this video, but something like if I've had to use one entry model for the rest of my life, it'd be this. This one trading strategy got me 50,000 in payouts. I use this super simple model to get funded 6 figures in 30 days. Here's how. And here's a pattern. So what you want to do is you want to tie your unique mechanism into the hook, or at least into the video. And obviously, a lot of your videos, some of them are going to have the unique mechanism in the hook, some of them aren't. Your hooks are going to be very different. You're going to experiment a lot if you're actually good. But a really, really easy way to have a really good hook that makes sure you get a ton of views and make sure you actually get leads and sales from your video is to tie in the dream result plus your unique mechanism. Because what it does is not only does it create curiosity, that's where you get the views, but it builds authority and it builds trust because you've achieved X dream result and you're teaching them how to achieve X dream result with the unique mechanism, which you are the unique top authority on because it's yours. So you're not just teaching like random tactics or random tips. You're revealing the system that actually got you results. You're teaching it to them, and that's infinitely more compelling, and you're gonna get a ton more views, and you're gonna get a ton more leads and sales because these guys will actually see you as an authority and the only person that can teach them this one thing that will get them the dream result in the world. And a little bit of psychology on this, like this isn't a huge thing, this isn't proven. Now this part is a theory part, but what you kind of get when people see a ton of your content, you're making super high quality content and you're teaching this unique mechanism and people start to learn it. What you kind of get with the audience is they kind of get sunk cost, all right? So once they've watched like 3 to 5 reels about your mechanism or unique mechanism, they've already started like understanding parts of it. Now they're thinking, okay, I've already learned this much. This guy achieved extreme result with this. I see so many people succeeding with this. Maybe they claimed your lead magnet, they joined your Discord, they're seeing testimonials, profits, whatever it is. I've already learned this much. I might as well go deeper and get the full thing. So this is the sunk cost fallacy. I'm sure you've heard of it before, and it's actually incredibly powerful in sales and marketing for conversions, all right? So if they've invested time into learning your system, they might use your lead magnet, they might have back tested it, and they see so many people getting results with it. Like, why would they switch to another model or another system now? This isn't actually manipulating. You're actually creating genuine value that builds on itself, because each video actually makes the next one more valuable because they have more prior knowledge on it, but also because, like, especially if you're a profitable trader, I assume you are watching this video. But if you strategy hop all the time and you never actually learn one specific strategy, you never get screen time with it, you probably won't ever become profitable. And so not only are you providing more value to them and making sure they stick on a strategy so they're getting them profitable faster, but you're making yourself money because they're going to be paying you in exchange for that value that you give to them. And your unique mechanism, you want to plug into absolutely everything, not just the content, all of it, like every single part of the funnel. You want to create like a cohesive experience that builds unstoppable momentum. So you'll see this with some of the creators that you might know, like Dodgy definitely does it. He's one of our top clients. But another one, I know Rake has his levels thing. I know I cannot remember for the life of me who has that set and forget strategy, but every single thing he has, the content's about it, the community's about it. You want to put it in your reels, you want your lead magnet to be about it, you want to be sending stuff about it in the emails, you want it to be in your free community, you want it to be an advanced application in the paid community, you want it to be part of the one-on-one mentorship, and pretty much this should be the core sales messaging framework for you, right? And the consistency throughout your whole funnel about this unique mechanism and tying it into the dream result creates a seamless experience. They're not learning 5 different systems, they're not learning all these things, they're learning one thing that's going to get them to their dream result. But when you make this change and you plug in your unique mechanisms into everything, like your content inside of your funnel, it really does transform everything. You fundamentally change how your business operates, how your brand operates, and the way you grow, how prospects perceive you, pretty much everything. So you go from just another trading educator, lost in a sea of like identical trading offers, because let's be real, the online education space is like growing by 20% every year. It's like doubled since 2018. You're just going to be fighting for scraps of attention in a pretty damn saturated market by this point. But when you plug in a unique mechanism, you become the whatever it is guy. So Dodgy is the IPG guy. Jack might be the PO3 guy. Colin Jones is a 3-step model guy. Creative Trader will be the confirmation model guy once he's been going for longer than 45 days, even though he's already made over like 15, 20 grand. But you will be owning a unique category where you're the only authority, you're the only person in the world that is an expert on that topic, and everyone will reference you when it comes to that topic, all right? Not only that, but when you post content, the leads that watch your content and opt in will self-qualify because they come to you specifically interested in your system. So it proves that they have the problem your product solves, as well as they actually see you as the trusted authority because they came in interested in your system, not just generic trading education that they can get anywhere else, all right? So this dramatically increases conversion rates because they already want what you're selling, and this is especially true when you have high ticket. Like when you have high ticket and your sales reps are on a phone with a guy, and it's like, oh, why would I pay you 12 grand to teach me X when this other guy also teaches X? When you have a unique mechanism that is that strong and you've been able to get them to consume that much content about that, and become like a cult-like follower of this unique mechanism, there is that objection just gets deleted, all right? It increased conversion rates so much, it's unreal. I can't even stress it to you. I wish I could show you the numbers. Not only that, but even if it's not high ticket and if it's low ticket or if it's mid ticket, whatever you're selling on a page, conversions skyrocket because they've already invested before they ever pay you in the first place. They've learned your terminology, they've tested your concepts, they might have went and back tested, they've joined your community, they've seen people get results with this specific unique mechanism. They see you getting results with this unique mechanism every day, so the sale is almost automatic. So let's actually start on building your own unique mechanism. So step 1 is actually going to be naming it. So whatever you use to trade, take your core trading approach and give it a memorable like 2 to 4 letter acronym. So that's kind of what ICT did. Some of our other clients and went and did like EMS, PO3 is a good one, something like, or even like a name, like 3-step model, confirmation model, market structure model. It should be something that you can explain visually and tie directly into dream results. And it's like a little catchy, right? One of our clients has the CLC order flow system. I believe it is. But you want to make it short, memorable, and ownable. You want people to remember it after hearing it like once. And since I couldn't remember that one, that might be a sign. But regardless, if you can make your unique mechanism, by the way, familiar when you name it, do it. So you don't have to make your mechanism completely alien to people and like they've never heard it before. Obviously, it's unique because they actually have never heard it before, but if it can be an advanced version of something traders already know, it can lower resistance, increase curiosity, and increase your conversion rates. So if it's something like ICT and it's something they've already heard of, like you are the IPG expert or the PO3 expert, and these guys have already kind of heard of that. They already have the terminology, they already have the ICT concepts, now just gonna go specialize. That can make it really, really strong. So that's the way you can hook the existing knowledge. So maybe you already know the silver bullet model. It might not be working for them. Oh, but what's this new model that uses the same concepts I've already learned? And you can also position against competitors. So maybe you can say like, Envy does this really well, and I'll show you an example of one of his visual hooks later. But you can frame your mechanism as competing with or superior to other strategies, maybe like superior to supply and demand, something like that, all right? And step two, what you want to do is you want to build everything around your unique mechanism. It becomes the foundation of your core sales messaging framework, all right? So every piece of content, every lead magnet, every community interaction, it's generally all going to be centered around this one system, and you are kind of the king of that system, all right? So in your content, in your lead magnets, in your free community, in your email sequences, in your paid community, in your YouTube, in your ads, whatever it is, you can build everything about it because this is now the core sales messaging of your whole business in general. So obviously there's going to be more to it, but a unique mechanism makes all the core sales messaging that you actually have to go through way, way easier to do. All right, so let's actually go into how you want to make sure you can actually get leads from your content, all right? And generally, you don't actually have like a lead problem. You actually have a problem in the amount of lead magnets you have, or the kind of lead magnets you have, or the way you're CTAing to lead magnets. And viral views mean absolutely nothing without lead magnets that actually collect the leads and then convert the leads. The goal isn't literally just views like on social media. At least if you run a business, if you're just like an influencer who like gets paid on CPM for like, I don't know, YouTube ads or like sponsorships, and sure. But if you're running a trading community, which you are by watching this video, or you should be if you're watching this video, it's actually a daily and weekly flow of emails and phone numbers from social media into your ecosystem. And phone number is optional, that's if you run high ticket. But where leads should go. So once you collect leads from your lead magnet, they'll go into your email list. If you're doing phone numbers, they'll go to your setter. They will also go into your free Discord, maybe because you have the lead magnets in there or your email list CTAs to it, etc. What you need are lead magnets, and internally we call them HVCOs. So these are high value content offers, and the reason why we call it that is because it's a content offer, and also because it has to be high value, all right? If your free stuff feels cheap, generic, or like kind of pushy, people will never trust not only your paid offers, but they'll never trust your free offers again. And also your free offers, and you'll never be able to collect details, you'll never be able to get them to show up to events again, because people will be like, oh, this guy didn't really provide me a lot of value before when it did this, and they'll subtly associate you in their head with generic stuff that doesn't provide value. That's why it has to be super high value, and you have to tie it into your unique mechanism so that you can build that trust and authority. And that's what we did super, super well with Dodgy and some of our other clients, all right? What an HVCO actually is, I just explained it to you, but what it is basically a lead magnet on steroids. And when I say that, a lead magnet also just needs to be super, super high value, like the people need to feel dumb not doing it, but it's easier to explain as a lead magnet on steroids. So it's not supposed to be just like thin fluff that kind of disappoints, but it's, in your case, it's supposed to be a genuinely high value, good trading resource that serious traders would actually use. Like maybe you would use this. Like for example, the setup rating guide that we do, or the checklist people we do. Like you need to make sure it's good enough to where you could have it on your second monitor, your chart here, and then you could you would use that and you'd be like, okay, I'm making sure there's this, because that's what you want your audience to do, all right? So number one has to be genuinely useful. It's something a real trader would keep open on a second monitor while trading, or maybe it has to be at least valuable. It makes it super, super easy to make something that's valuable if you just think about whatever you would have personally on your second monitor while trading. But it shouldn't be something like, oh, I've read this PDF. Okay, I'm done reading it. Delete after one read. All right. Number two, it's tied into your unique mechanism. So this is specific to your unique mechanism, whether it's IFAGs, PO3, we had a client who did EMS, whatever it is. And it shouldn't be about just random price actions or indicators you don't teach or even use. That'd be strange, all right? Number three, it should be applicable. It should be practically applicable. It should feel like something a serious trader would actually keep open while actively trading, not theory that they'll never use. All right, so maybe it's like it teaches specific. I know people who did fibs. It might teach specific fib numbers. It might be like, all right, if it reacts this way inside of this level, then you do X, stuff like that. Something people can actually apply. All right. The rule for great HVCOs is that people should be able to implement them super quickly. It should be super valuable, and it should be something ideally that they can use every single day. All right, so what works? The best HVCOs that we've found over the last 2 years and over 15 million in revenue and about hundreds of thousands of leads by this point is the best HVCOs are usually one-pagers. So a checklist, a rating guide, a flow chart. They usually solve one specific problem and they have one specific use case in real time that people can use every single day. And the reason why this is so strong is because this, not only like, this is something people can go and back test. This is something people can have on their second monitor. They're constantly engaging with your brand every single day. And as well as fits in your Discord and you are CTAing to your YouTube and they're into your email list and they're watching your YouTube channel, this is something that just massively multiplies conversions, all right? So like it ideally has something like, you know, should I take this trade or not? Does the setup meet all the rules? If your HVCO answers those questions clearly, a trader could just keep it on their second monitor and literally use it live. And that is super valuable. And likely that means you have a great HVCO that is valuable that people will convert on. So generally, you don't want them just like reading theory. You want to give them a tool, something practical that they can use that improves their trading immediately. I'm going to go on a little side tangent, but for example, like when I back in the day was teaching, when I was a video game coach, not making much. That's when we switched over. But something like an AIM Labs playlist. I know you don't know what that is, but there's something called AIM training where you practice your mouse movements and stuff. If you give them tools like that where they can go like, okay, go here, you put in your details, you join the community, you download this thing, and then you use it every day, they're engaging with your brand a ton. That's what you want your HVCO to be similar to, right? Something practical that they can use every single day that gets them to engage with your brand and your unique mechanism every single day. So examples from real trading creators, like I said earlier, like Jack, we did a PO3 entry checklist. So all the conditions you must see before actually entering a trade using the Power 3 framework, 4-hour Power 3. We did a rating guide. So we did a rating guide with Dodgy. We did an IFG. He has 2 rating guides, actually. He has one where he just showed the, like, this is an A+ setup. It has these. A- setup, it has these. B setup, it has these. And then he also has a setup point one where it's like, okay, if it has these, that's this many points. If it has this, that's 1 point. If it has this, it's 1 point. If you have this many points, it's A+. If you have this many points, it's B, whatever it is. And then we did with Matt and Nick, we did a flow chart. So for the Forever model, we had them put out a flow chart lead magnet, which was pretty much like a little diagram. If you see X in the setup, do Y. If not, do Z, etc. Just like a clear decision tree. And these are all things that are practical, actionable, specific to a unique mechanism, and something someone can have in their second chart and use every single day. These aren't theories, but there's actually tools that people could actually use, all right? So when you have lead magnets in place, what actually happens when a reel blows up for you? So the power of literally just one insane video for you, it can do super well. So a single reel that blows up and gets something like, you know, in this case, 3,405 comments, that can translate to roughly around 3,000 people actually dropping in their email, joining your Discord for your lead magnet. And for many creators, that's actually bigger than their entire existing email list at the moment. And this is built from one piece of content that he made literally in an hour, and it took 1 week to get that many comments and likes, all right? So one hit piece of content plus one strong HBCOs, months could equal, if you have a high ticket, months of a sales pipeline and whatever you offer, as long as you actually have a funnel in the back end that helps convert these guys, tens of thousands of dollars generated in pretty much like 1 hour of work making that content, all right? So how much of those emails actually turn into money? So we can break down the rough funnel math so you can see exactly why collecting emails and collecting all this stuff is super important for your bottom line. Number one, if you don't do it, they never see you again and they never end up paying you. But out of the leads you do collect, on average, around 8 to 10% of those emails, it depends on the client, depends on the unique mechanism, depends on the brand. Like Dodgy had much higher conversion rates because he had such a strong brand and he had built such a strong community and he had a lot of strong content around it. So his was a bit higher, but it ranges. 8 to 10% of them convert to a free trial for our clients. And around 25 to 30%, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, of those convert to a paid membership at an average around 100 a month. All right, so let's take the average. Let's be a little conservative. Example ballpark, let's say we collect 1,000 emails. You saw that last video, collected 3,405, and that's not even crazy. I've had a reel that has collected, I think it was 20.7 thousand comments, and it ended up getting 10.3 thousand emails, something like that. That was by Colin. But for example, and obviously when you get to the bigger numbers, the conversion rates drop a little bit. But say you're just posting every single day, you're collecting like 50 emails a day, that adds up a ton. So an example ballpark for that would be like, if you collect 1,000 emails, let's say 10% of them convert to a free trial, you get 100 free trials. So let's be on the conservative end, 25% of them actually end up paying. That means you just created $2,500 in monthly recurring revenue from one reel, a single reel, all right? So where do lead magnets actually live in your content? So short form content teaches part of your unique mechanism and sets up demand for the HVCO as a full checklist or complete guide of whatever you just taught. So the content wants to create demand, the HVCO wants to capture that demand, and then actually end up monetizing on the back end. So your reel pretty much will hook with solving a problem, teaches one solution from whatever your large solution actually is, and then CTAs to the full resource where they can get access to the full solution, all right? So CTA examples would be like common checklist, and I'll send you over the PDF. So it'd be like, oh, and if you want a full breakdown of this strategy that I just explained, all you have to do is comment checklist, and I'll DM to you over a full PDF where I break it down completely for free. On TikTok or YouTube, it would be like link in bio or reply with email for the breakdown. We would never use email, but you get the point. It's just some sort of example. This is specifically for Instagram because it has ManyChat, but on other platforms, you could create 2 different versions of the same video, one with link in bio. ManyChat is rolling out to other stuff, not YouTube yet. So YouTube, you'd have to use the link in bio, but sometimes what you can do as well is that just post the same video, have it in the link in bio, people will find it, or you could put it in the comments of each of your videos, all right? Like pinned comments on YouTube. But you don't have to create new assets constantly. You just have to maximize one great asset that you have everywhere, all right? So what actually happens after they opt into your lead magnet? And this is what we do for our done-for-you clients. If you're watching this and you're a client, you don't have to worry about this at all because we do this for you. But the HVCO/lead magnet is pretty much just an entry point for the lead. So once they opt in, they enter a nurture system that we design to move them pretty much from like interested and kind of hooked on your unique mechanism to completely ready to buy, like smacking on your door, asking to give you your credit card and pay you, all right? So what's part of that? So some of it is like, obviously they have to opt in, they drop their email, optionally phone number. If you have a high ticket, they join your Discord, whatever it is, to actually access the HVCO. They're gonna have a thank you page, which immediately builds awareness on the low ticket product and shows them whatever it is. Or it can also, or it can also push them into the free Discord, which we also do by putting the lead magnet inside of the Discord or CTing it to it in the emails. Then on the back end, since they're on the email list, they're going to get an email sequence basically completely designed around that unique or around that HVCO that they just claimed. That'll deepen education around your unique mechanism in addition to the lead magnet they just claimed with case studies, examples, testimonials, profits, whatever. And since they're in your Discord, they're going to start seeing profits, testimonials from inside your Discord. They're going to see the CTA channels. They're going to see the trade recaps you do when you expose that to free people. And we have a video on this, like building Discords actually for conversion. So if you're interested in that, you can go watch that. It's like 4 videos ago. I can put a card in the top right here. And then we're going to have a core offer. And what this is going to be is like a Godfather offer. I'm going to explain this to you later. But once this lead will be warmed up, you're going to have built a lot of trust and authority with them. We present them with what we call a Godfather offer, which is pretty much something that they would feel dumb saying no to. All right. So it's something like a free trial or paid community membership, but I'll explain it in the next chapter. Cool. Well, let's quickly talk about why the HVCOs actually work so well and why those specific offers work so well. So when someone uses something every single day, it builds a lot of daily trust. So if they literally trade every single day using your checklist, or they have your flow chart open on their second monitor every single day with your logo on there, with your unique mechanism, Every win they get while they're using your HPCO, even every loss that they manage well, increases their trust in you and their perceived value of your method, and kind of that sunk cost fallacy we spoke about earlier, right? So by the time you offer a 7-day free trial or like paid community access, um, especially a free trial where they have advanced applications of these and they get to watch you do it, feels like a complete no-brainer. Like, okay, I already use this system, it's working. Like, this guy clearly knows what he's talking about. I want to go trade live with him, especially if it's free for 7 days, right? So what I want you to do in the next week is actually build an HPCO. And let's be clear, you don't need 10 different lead magnets on day one. Yes, over time you should build many, many more that solves many, many more problems, that hits many, many different sales messaging frameworks. But for now, you just need one killer HPCO that's so good people would actually pay for it, but you're giving it away to build your list, build your community around the unique mechanism, all right? Number one, first of all, build your unique mechanism. I would go watch that section before, again, if you haven't done that yet, and go figure out what you want a brand unique system, whatever you want to build your brand around. And then two, you can build the one pager. So I do recommend like the 3 top ones I do is like a checklist, rating guide, flowchart, or like breakdown that traders can use live while trading. And then you can plug it into your content. And when you build this, make sure it's something you would actually use yourself while trading. If you wouldn't use it, you can't expect the people that you're teaching to actually use it, because if it's not as valuable to you, it's not as valuable to them, right? So kind of make this resource kind of for yourself, make it look pretty, brand it well, and then we can give it away. All right, but yeah, if you want to scale your training community, you have to plug all these things in. Like not only the unique mechanism, you got to plug it into your content. You got to plug in the lead magnet system behind that. You have to set up the CTAs correctly. You have to set up the systems behind that to convert as many leads as possible. And you have to set up the right systems behind that to make sure those leads pay you as much money as possible when they do convert by building the full product suite out. And this is what we do for our done for you clients, all right? Because scaling is a system, it's not really a guess. So in our business, we don't wing it. Obviously, if you've never done it before, it's going to be quite hard for you to. But we use a proven system that we've installed for every single one of our clients. They all get the same thing. And this is how we've taken so many trading discords beyond 100K a month. All right. So a lot of people pass a milestone. We do, I think our clients do currently it's somewhere between like 1.5 to 2 million a month across all clients combined. And we've done over 15 million lifetime revenue for clients. All right. And behind these numbers is a repeatable system we install for every single client. Some guys do 10, 20K. Some guys who put in a lot of effort and put in a ton of work and post a lot of content get to over 100K per month. All right. And this section shows exactly pretty much how leads move on from like random viewer to paying member inside that system. Cool? So what it's all based on is what we call the 7-11-4 rule. It's not what we call, actually, it's what Google calls it. And Google research found that cold leads need a significant amount of nurture before they're ready to buy. And they found on average across, like, they did the study back in the early 2010s. So it's actually probably increased by now. But they found in order, on average, to turn a cold lead into a buyer, on average, they need to engage with 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points in 4 different locations before they buy. And this isn't like a suggestion, it kind of is a theory, but it's backed by real business data from one of the world's largest tech companies. And trust since the early 2010s has actually went down massively. So honestly, they probably need to engage with even more of this, and this is why our system is so effective compared to what other trading content creators are doing nowadays. What we do behind the lead magnets, and once they're in email, once they're in the Discord, once they've claimed your lead magnet, once they're seeing all this stuff, we kind of consider them what's in the nurture web, what we call the nurture web, all right? So they can't really escape the value that you provide across all socials. Every single channel that they've just joined reinforces your teaching and build those 7 hours, 11 touch points across 4 different locations. So they're in your email list, they're in your free Discord, you're CTAing to both of those in your YouTube, they're already seeing your Instagram, they probably followed you after they commented and claimed the lead magnet. They might have seen you through TikTok, they might have seen you through wherever you do short form, wherever your primary form of acquisition is. But once they're deep inside and after they claim a lead magnet or after they join your community, all channels kind of cross promote each other. So Reels link to lead magnets collect email, get members in the Discord, email in the Discord channels link to the YouTube videos, YouTube and lead magnet push the value back inside the Discord, and it kind of like is a massive web, right? So they're seeing you everywhere and they're getting sold everywhere. So whatever channel you used to find them first, they had a touch point, and then you built enough demand into something that they actually really wanted and provided a ton of value, and now they see you everywhere and you are their authority for the problem that they want to solve, all right? Kind of like a spider with a web. they hit your web, and now you kind of wrap them up in all this nurture. You're providing them a ton of value, but instead of eating them, you actually just make them a ton of money, and they pay you some of that money in return. But yes, we use email automations, and the free community is kind of the hub behind the lead magnet. So email automations, this is completely automated. This is what we set up for clients. It consistently sends them value without you lifting a finger. So maybe stuff like YouTube videos from trade recaps, or YouTube videos from explaining a certain part of the strategy, or maybe a full breakdown to stuff, whatever. Like breakdowns of recent market moves and stuff like case studies and stuff like that wouldn't be in the automations, but those could be in Blast. Advanced concepts from the systems and stuff that would actually warm them up, teach them more about unique mechanisms, show them trade recaps, stuff like that, and kind of build more trust and authority. Those would be in the sequences. But we use that as along with the free community. The nice thing about Discord is that since everyone has a Discord app, you can actually send them push notifications when you post new videos, or when you go live, when you do Q&A sessions, when you do free events, when you do announcements for sales, when you do trade recaps, and you're like, yo, today announce this in stream, and it's like a screenshot of an insane setup. That all builds FOMO for your Godfather offer. All right, trade ideas, community wins, testimonials. Together, email and community kind of turn cold leads that you've claimed from social media into someone who kind of has built like a little bit of parasocial relationship, and they feel like they know you personally, they know your unique mechanism, they've consumed hours and hours of your content, they've seen your teaching in action, they're seeing it helps others, and they might have even experienced wins using your method themselves, all right? After they've consumed content and trust you, you present a low friction offer that makes saying yes incredibly easy and saying no incredibly hard, and this is what we call the Godfather offer. For most of our guys, it's something as simple as like a 7-day free trial. And it works because by this point, they've seen enough proof and training from you that try my community for a week completely for free, trade live with me, especially after they've watched hours of your content, gotten so much value from it. It feels like obvious. They're not even taking a risk. They're just getting more of what's already working at an advanced level, where the person they literally see as authority, they can trade with live, all right? And the reason why we do a free trial, especially on WAP, I would do it where I collect the card. So this is what we do for all of our clients. And getting their card on file for a free trial dramatically increases their conversion to paid, because the friction of entering payment info is already handled, so continuing feels super natural, all right? The people who can actually afford it normally don't cancel because they've been getting value for weeks already, as long as their product actually lives up to promises and expectations. So the reason why like 25, 30% convert and it's not something higher, I mean, we have seen higher, like we've seen 50, 60, 70, but generally it's a bit lower, and that's because a lot of the time it's demographics. So you might get a lot of Indians who grab it and they just can't afford something like 100, 149 a month because they make that in a year, right? So that there are some things you can't control, but that's something that could affect that. But the whole system that we plug in is why clients say we've 10x their businesses. So JackTrades said this. If you want to go watch that, go to my Instagram. It's at @IamAndyFam. And go to client wins. Just click a couple times until you see Jack. We 10x his business in, I think it was something like 2 or 3 months. So before he posted great content, he was getting decent views, but he had no really system behind that. Like he didn't do the lead magnets. His content was all right, but it wasn't specifically dialed into his unique mechanism. And his revenue, he was making like 2K a month, and it was unpredictable. And growth was a constant uphill battle for him because he didn't have the systems in place. Afterward, when content finally had a conversion engine behind it, and we tied in the unique mechanism to everything, and we built the systems behind the lead magnet inside of his Discord, we built kind of that flywheel, that kind of nurture web, we call it. Then views and revenues both rise pretty much not only simultaneously, what's the word, but like parabolically. Like he went from 2K to like, I think it was like 22K or something, 27K. He's even higher now, but absolute parabolic rise. And you'll hear it in his testimonial. Like he pretty much just kept recording. He kept doing whatever he did, but the system behind it actually turned those viewers into trials and trials into recurring MRR while he didn't have to lift a finger. All right. But if you want to see how this funnel actually plugs into your trading business, like you yourself, obviously there's a video like over there. It's going to pretty much explain the complete system step by step for you, show you the guarantee we offer to trading communities we work with, and you'll see pretty much, I'm going to break down, it's me personally still, so you'll see my beautiful face, all the systems we built out for clients that we've built out for them in the past to generate 15 million over the last 2 years, how much we can guarantee to add an MRR to trading communities right now, maybe how much your business might be guaranteed to grow when working with us, because we have a MRR guarantee. rates between 10,000 to 100,000. It depends on your circumstances, real revenue numbers from actual clients in live time, and how to apply if you're fit. So if you're interested in any of that, it's going to include some more about the actual systems behind. This video is about content, so I couldn't go too into depth. But if you want me to go into depth, just click there.